Hasbro Haslab. Why does it succeed? How does it fail? And what can Hasbro do to correct the problems? Let's talk about it. Greetings, toy heads, and welcome to another episode of Go Figure with me, your host, Eli Williams, here on the digitally Rebastard Network, the action figure show about news, reviews, collecting tips, customizations, kit bashing, everything that goes into this fun, nerdy hobby that you and I both love. And in this special episode, going to be talking about Haslab. I just recently did a video covering the failure and of the Ghost Rider, the Hasbro Marvel Legends Ghost Rider Engines of Destruction not getting backed, the failure of that. And that video blew up. So that tells me that there's a lot of people that are very passionate about Haslab. Again, I want to state I'm not trying to be a Hasbro fanboy here. I like their product. I don't buy everything that they make. If I'm a fanboy for anything, I'm a fanboy for Mattel DC Universe Classics. Let's just be honest here. That's why every figure review that I do has just about every figure, when I put them up to show them to scale, it's got a DC Universe Classics in it. I have a very large collection of those, and I really like them. That being said, I am far from a Hasbro fanboy. I've never backed anything Haslab, not because I'm against Haslab. It's just they haven't really made anything that I personally have wanted. But let's just start off by looking at what has... now, here's two right here that are currently getting backed. You got HeroScape, Age of Annihilation. I know nothing about HeroScape, so I'm not going to touch that. And then we have Transformer Generations Haslab Deathsaurus. Now, the one thing that I have seen when I just made that video like a few days ago, if you haven't watched it, go watch that. A lot of the feedback I'm getting from people is its price point. It's not so much... now, I saw a lot of people saying that, you know, they didn't really want Robbie Reyes and the car. They would have rather had Johnny Blaze and a motorcycle. And I know I've had a little bit of feedback from that yes, they have made a Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider and a motorcycle. What I was referring to was they should have made it like that car. Interchangeable wheels, light up, maybe sound, stuff like that. But a big part of the feedback I'm seeing on the reason why Engines of Destruction failed is price point. And that's going to be a main focus of my discussion on this today. Now, we're looking at HeroScape. This one is $249.99. It is at $33,341. Geez, out of 8,000. Honestly, I don't know if this is a value or not. I know nothing about these. This may very well... Okay, it comes with a sword. All right, well, maybe that is a value then. I don't know. Then you have the Transformers Generations Haslab Deathsaurus. I used to have Transformers as a kid. I don't anymore. Is it going to be gray like this? I don't know. This looks like it's just something that was 3D printed, so I don't know. But we're looking at a price point of $180 here. So that being said, you've got pretty decent price points here. Now here we have funding completed. This is where, this should be the template for what Hasbro should do with Haslabs. Galactus just blew up. And at a price point of $400, I've watched videos of reviews of this. This thing is massive. It is huge. It, like, the regular Marvel Legends standing next to this thing look so tiny. And I don't know exactly how big this thing is as far as inches, but okay, 32 inches right here. That's crazy. That's just absolutely crazy. But they hit a home run. Here's their home runs. Boom, 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 boom. The biggest home run being this. Honestly, I think the Hiss and the Proton Pack were the biggest home runs. Now, let's do a compare and contrast. At $350 on the Engine of Destruction, looking at that and looking at this at $300, I don't understand why they went to the $350, and I can see where people are coming from on the price. I don't understand why that was $350 and this is $300 when this is obviously a better value. This thing took off like wildfire, and with all of the tiers on this, getting what you got, just with all the figures, I know they had, they were going to have a vote on the color of the second figure, and again, I really would love to have the classic Cobra Commander, but they hit a home run with that. I do hope that the classic Cobra Commander ends up on a card, or at least a variation of the classic Cobra Commander. But because someone asked me, well, if I like the Cobra Commander, then why didn't I back it? Well, I don't want the Hiss. I didn't have the Hiss even in the original line. But as far as value, $300 seems like a better deal. It is still expensive, but it does seem like a better deal. Like, look at that. Target was $8,000, $26,772. That's crazy. And this should be the template of what they're doing. Hasbro, I'm not saying they're a great company. They've made mistakes. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. They have, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. They have a distribution problem. They have a problem with their pre-order system. I understand why they throw their pre-order date so far ahead. They hedge their bets. But because they know if they say, well, this is where we have this now, and this is going to come out on, January 12th. And it doesn't, because there's, production issues, or we have another pandemic and there's we got cargo containers sitting on the West Coast not getting shipped, and it doesn't get shipped and everybody gets pissed. That's why they do that. So when I see all these tweets on Twitter, on the Hasbro Pulse Twitter feed, where it's like, oh, good, another thing that's going to release in March in 2023. That's not going to release in March in 2023. That's going to probably release in December or January. They do that because they hedge their bets. They try to think ahead of time. It's like, well, just in case some major crap comes down the line, we've got that timeline to, and then if it cuts down to where it's like we have to say, oh, it's going to be delayed because of this, this, and this, they can say that, but they're hedging their bets. I understand that. But what I don't understand is them having something on pre-order. Like right now, I have the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider on pre-order through Haslabs and through Big Bad Toy Store, because I will probably be canceling. That's what I've been doing now. I hedge my bets. I order something like right now. I also have the two Indiana Jones figures on pre-order through Hasbro Pulse, but I also have them on Amazon. And whichever one pops first, I'm going to cancel the other one. And I know a lot of people do that, but that's the one thing that I have a major problem with Hasbro Pulse. But that's not what this video is about. We're talking about Haslab and how they, when they succeed, they succeed with flying colors. When they fail, it's a train wreck. And I understand why for the most part, but, and I want your feedback. I encourage your feedback. I'm not trying, I don't want to come across negative. I'm not bashing Hasbro, but I'm not supporting this Haslab thing either. I'm riding the fence on this because I want it to work for the consumer, because I want people to be happy and get what they want. But I think one of the biggest problems with these is they've got, and it's very obvious that they've got the right people doing the right things and the wrong people doing the wrong things. And right here, the hiss, that was the right people doing the right things. The Proton Pack at $400, 7,000 was the target. 19,000, a little over 19,000 was the backers. This is a wise thing. Now, it would have been better if they would have had the positronic. Yeah, I can't think the gun. I can't think of the name of, but the one that you could get functions with this. But it was a pulse item. It was not a Haslab. There's certain things that I think should be Haslab and certain things that shouldn't. This, obviously, that's going to be something. They're not going to just mass produce those and put, like, Galactus. They're not going to put that on shelves. Sky Striker is another one that just blew up. But it didn't blow up as much as the Hiss. Target was 10,000. It went a little over 16, almost 17,000. But it was something that when it was seen, it's just like I've said, the two things that I would get as here we'll look at past projects too. The two things I would get that I would back if they did them would both be Star Wars. One being Slave One, the other being the Millennium Falcon. Now again, there's no way in holy hell that they're going to make the Millennium Falcon. I made a comment in my the Ghost Rider video that it would be the size of a coffee table, and somebody said no, it would be the size of a dinner table. I'm like, yeah, you're right, it would. If they made that to scale at a 1/12 scale, Millennium Falcon would be huge. It would be awesome. It would be absolute awesome sauce, but it's just not going to happen. Slave One, I can see a possibility of Slave One. Yes, I said Slave One, not Boba Fett Starship. Slave One. I can see that being a possibility. Here's another funding completed, but it was 5,000 plus. They don't actually have the correct number on this, so I don't know exactly. If you know what the actual number of this was, post it down below. But this was another wise decision, a very, very wise decision, because it was something that when we were kids in a 3¼ inch scale figure thing, we wanted this. This is something that we wanted. Where I could see them doing something like this again for vintage collection would be a Death Star. If they made a Death Star playset thing like this, yeah, that's going to blow up. Another good example is the Sentinel. My God, 6,000 target, 21,000, almost 22,000. Again, just like Galactus, this is what fans want. Maybe not all the fans, but this is what fans want. Here we've got Unicron, which did it surpassed 10,000. I don't know what the exact number is because it just says 10,000 plus. But Transformers is I'd like to say they're back in a big way, but they were never really gone. The Razor Crest, this is another big win. 6,000, 28,000 plus. 28,111 backers. There's just that one guy at the end is like, I think I'm going to get it. This, being who you are, Hasbro, you know what the fans want. Now, let's talk about the three big elephants in the room. I've already talked about, actually, let's talk about the two elephants in the room. We've talked about, I've talked about the Engines of Vengeance. We know what that is. Did I say Engines of Destruction earlier? I think I might have. That was a Boba Fett comic. That's not this. This failed not because of what it is, not because of the price. This failed because the tiers were massively mishandled.
Honestly, if I would have been in charge of this, and I'm not like the guy over at Spectre Creative. I don't have corporate knowledge and production knowledge and designer knowledge of this stuff. However, if I was in some kind of creative control position for this is what I would have done. Number one, the first tier right out of the barrel, this should have been the first tier right there, but they didn't. They waited to the very end when they saw the trash fire flaming up and going down, and it was too little too late. And that's why they almost hit it, because if this had been right there at the beginning, that would have gone out of the park, right out of the barrel. But they waited. What was the first one that they did? Where's it at? No, not that. Oh, I thought that was it. There's a picture of it in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. This was the first tier. This is the first step in the wrong direction that they made. These should have just come with it. Period. This should have been right there at the beginning, and like, oh, also you get the bones. You know, or you know, a bones and a bag of sand. You know, that's probably not a good idea, but you can go get your own sand to put in a diorama. But this was the first failure on Rancor. Very obviously the first failure. Bones should have just come with it anyway. Besides the fact that one of these, I'm pretty sure, was... Well, maybe not. I thought one of these was in the little sand archaeology thing. I got one of them, and I got like the rat monkey skull. But maybe not. Maybe not. But at any rate, at the very least, the one bone, the bone that Luke puts in the Rancor's mouth, should have come with him. Second mistake, this. Come on. Really? We already had this. We didn't need this. You already had a Gamorrean to use with this. This should have been, well, the bones should have been Ula. The Rancor Keeper should have been the first tier. Ula should have been the second tier. When I saw this, when I saw this pop up as a tier, I knew then this isn't gonna make it. It just simply is not going to make it. This was a poor decision. If you're going to make something like this, you need to have unique stuff in it. Like the classic Cobra Commander on the Hiss. That's probably going to be the only way you'll ever get that particular version and sculpt and paint app job of that figure. The Gamorrean Guard, poor choice. And putting them on the old cards, I guess that's a cool idea, the Kenner cards, but with the coin from the Power of the Force. Yeah, it's a cool idea. I think it would just be better to put them in, because to me that encourages like a resale, to put them up on eBay and Mercari, and that just encourages like price gouging and stuff, and nobody's going to buy that anyway. Let's just face it. You get that thing, there's going to be maybe a handful of hardcore collectors that would want that, but no one's going to buy that. The last absolute failure on this, and you know what it is, which does give me hope, and that is Luke. That should not have been even remotely considered as a tier on Rancor. We already have this Luke. This exact Luke. I know this is a digital rendering, but we already had this Luke. And we're getting this Luke because they've got that in the pipeline, as I've already got it pre-ordered through Hasbro Pulse. They just basically, I think they actually must have made these. They had these in advance. Either that or they had plans to make it, and they're just like, well, we'll just throw. This was a panic. The Rancor was a panic on Hasbro's part, and it was really, really tacky, really, on my opinion, on their part, because that the last minute they're like, oh yes, and the Rancor keeper, but it was too little, too late. So that was a fail. We know why this was a fail. Mainly price, and a little bit it being Robbie Reyes. There's people that don't mind that it's Robbie Reyes, and that's fine. I'm not saying that those people are wrong, because that's not what I do here. But honestly, at $300, and I said this in a few comments, at $350, this should have been Robbie Reyes in the car and Johnny Blaze on the motorcycle. That would have worked. But they really kind of failed on the figure tiers. And I think basically I would say it was like 75% price, 25% who it was, and 25% the figure tiers that failed this. This, however, this was just a stupid idea. Let's just be honest. This was a dumb idea. This should not even have ever been considered for a crowdfunder. This should have just gone out to the shelves, and people that wanted it would want it. Number one, it wasn't that popular of a character in the show. Very obviously, I didn't mind her, but I honestly, because these go to the shelves, these go to the stores. The Force Effects lightsabers. I know and they've had them on Pulse. The fact when this came out, I'm like, this ain't gonna make it. It ain't even gonna be close, and it wasn't. 1413 out of 5,000. If you're gonna do something like this, you should have, a light. I'll tell you how this would succeed. Don't make a character. If you're going to make a Haslab for a Force Effects lightsaber, don't make a character specific lightsaber. Build-A-Bear. Not Build-A-Bear, not literally, but do a choose your hilt, choose your blade color, and get like, robes and tunic and pants. Do the cosplay thing. Do the cosplay package. For $500, that would work. $500 for this? No. Not for a thing that's like $199, $250 retail. Or maybe at the most $300. No. This was to me the biggest flop that Haslab has ever done. Even more so than the Rancor, honestly. At least the Rancor got close. This had no chance. This had no chance in Hoth of heating up. You know what I'm saying? This just was an absolute fail out of the barrel. You're not going to sell a Force Effect. You're not going to get a Force Effects lightsaber to back on here. I don't care whose you put up, honestly. But a really good idea, like I said, do a Build-A-Bear. You want dark brown cloak, light brown cloak, black cloak, gray cloak, green cloak, tan cloak, and, pick and choose, have a modular drop-down system, build your saber, Build-A-Bear. And it's a complete Jedi or Sith cosplay kit. That would go out of the park. And then you could have tiers. You could have, make the robe a tier, make a cloak a tier, make a cape a tier, make a tunic a tier. And the more backers. The cosplay people, the Comic-Con people would be all over this if they were to do something like that. Just throwing Reva's lightsaber up there, $500 and... No. No. No, 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 no. You can see, to me, this is like, and World of Warcraft players will understand this. When World of Warcraft was at its height, its peak, was during Wrath of the Lich King, the third expansion, or the second expansion, not counting the original. So you had Burning Crusades and then Wrath of the Lich King. That's when World of Warcraft was at its peak. When you do something like that, or Galactus, or Transformers Victory Saber, or Sky Striker, or Proton Pack, or Hiss, and you knock it out of the park, that should be your template of what you should do always to succeed. Not make, Reva's lightsaber or a $350 car with a guy with an interchangeable head. If this was going to be what it was, this should have been like $250. Because for $50 more than the Hiss, and that's what you got. There's what you got. That and, some translucent plastic that lights up, in front of LEDs, and 3 figures that 2 of which nobody gave really 2 squirts about. I don't want to dwell on this one because I already did that in the video. All of that being said, they know how to make this work. And I don't know if it's greed. I don't know if it's just mismanagement of putting the wrong people on the wrong projects. But you know what to do to succeed. And when you have that template in front of you, you can't look at the Hiss at $300 and look at how that just exploded, and then turn right around and go, well, let's do Ghost Rider and put it at $350 and expect it to work, and just give it the tears that you gave it. It's just not going to work. At any rate, I just kind of wanted to throw this out there, my thoughts. Give me your thoughts down below and tell me what you think they can do to improve. I feel like I've covered everything that I can come up with. And again, Hasbro, if you're listening, make a Star Wars Black Series Haslab Slave 1. And I even know what I would pick for the tiers. Number 1, I would have a Han and Carbonite with that has a remember the old Power of the Force figure where it was like a translucent slab that he went behind. You make a Han and Carbonite that actually fits inside of it. It's like a little box, and you can pop it open and put him in there, and he fits in like in a mold, and then you put the top over it, so you have him in Carbonite and then out of Carbonite, like for your Jabba's Palace display. Especially since we just got an Archive Leia Bouche. You'd have that. You could have like a weapons rack with some different weapons. Like you can have all the different types of weapons that he's used throughout the years in it. You could have a really, really nice exclusive new sculpt of Boba Fett in it. There's lots of things you can do. Lots of places to go on that. But I think one of the things that Hasbro needs to not do is go over the top grandiose. And I really think that this was over the top grandiose for the price. At least that's why they're trying to justify the price for it. I don't know. But At any rate, that's all I've got for this episode, or this special episode. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell so you can get information on all the good things coming out of the Digitally Rebastard Network, as well as join us on Twitter, Discord, and my TikTok by clicking those links in the bottom right-hand corner of the banner on our channel page. Become part of the DRN family. We will welcome you with open arms. You've been watching Go Figure with me, your host, Eli Williams, here on the Digitally Rebastard Network. You all have a great week and a great day. I'll see you next time, and until then, don't forget to get your figure on. Take care.